Everyone, I'm Quentin. I'm one of the health and wellness coaches from the Ambulatory Practice of the Future.
I'm Dan Murphy. I'm one of the athletic trainers at the MGH Wellness Center. Today we're going to talk about hydration and the importance of drinking enough water. Our body is mostly made up of water. It's very important for our bodies, for our energy levels, for the function of our cells, our brain, our joints to move well. So we're going to talk to you today a little bit about how much water you should drink if you're active, even if you're not active, and maybe any special populations that might need more water than others. So Quentin, what would you say one of the most important things about staying hydrated is?
I think it's a great question. I think it's a tricky balance of not being dehydrated, which will affect your performance, but also not drinking too much water where you're, hypohydrated, which can also lead to decreased performance. So I think a great indicator would be to check your pee. So when you pee, and if it's light yellow to clear, you know you're hydrated, you're good to go.
If it gets any darker than that, you're probably already dehydrated. You need to start drinking more water.
Right.
I work with a lot of an active population, so you're probably going to want to drink more water when you're exercising. A little bit more beforehand, during your exercise, and then you want to be rehydrating after activity. Usually you sweat out a lot of water, a lot of fluids, electrolytes, which might be a good time to talk about sports drinks. And a lot of people use those to rehydrate. I think they can be high in sugar, but there are some benefits.
Yeah, I think, obviously water is the best, but sometimes if you do sweat more, it is hotter outside, you're going to need some type of sports drink to have that concentration of electrolytes in it. The only problem is you may want to dilute it with water because your body can only absorb so much sugar, and that's why it sits in your stomach and you kind of, feel like you need to...
Sure.
Right. Okay, Dan, so if you're not, really active or engaging in high-intensity exercise, but you do work out, and you're more, moving from the sedentary population to just, light exercise, what are your recommendations as far as hydration?
I think it's important to drink non-caloric beverages throughout the day. Coffee, tea, again, if you're not adding sugars and creams to those things. Staying away from sodas, sugary beverages, and even some of those sports drinks that you might know. There are probably, you need to cut them with water, like Quentin had mentioned, or I think there's some low or no calorie electrolyte replenishments that athletes or a more active population could use for their rehydration purposes.
Right, and I think another important thing to remember is we're all different. We're all, different age, sex, height, weight. Everybody sweats differently, so it's hard to give you very general recommendations. You just need to, sip water more often before you work out, during your workout, and then of course try to replace that sweat loss and loss of electrolytes after your workout.
Right. I think we've seen, I work with an older population, and females can tend to need more water than males, or in general for their hydration. I know with an older population, hydration can be an issue later at night, so I recommend my older folks, they start drinking water earlier in the day and taper that off, but it's still important for them to stay hydrated as well.
No, that's a great point. And I think too it's important that, cold water's, better, because part of dehydration is when you're losing water and losing electrolytes, your body starts to heat up, and that'll decrease your mental and physical performance. So that's why we always encourage drink colder water. It'll absorb better in your body.
Right. Some of the symptoms of dehydration you might see would be muscle cramping, could be dizziness, lightheadedness. If it gets more severe, it could be vomiting. You could pass out if it's really bad, and even lead into liver and kidney problems if you're constantly severely dehydrated.
Right.
So don't get there. Drink lots of water.
So what are some good takeaways? Maybe drink colder water, drink water more frequently. Check your pee, and if you need sports beverage, maybe water it down. That way you can get some water and sugar benefits.
Good tips.